So today I'll be talking about why, as a footballer, you should get out of your comfort zone and how being uncomfortable will ultimately turn you into a way better player. Now, the inspiration for this vid literally came from, I was just thinking about like my youth career. So from like probably like 5 years old all the way up to 18 years old. And from that time period, I've played for 4 teams. And to be fair, 2 of the teams, I would say that there was a lot of sort of comfort and familiarity. So, for example, my first ever team that I was with from like age 5 to age 11. Obviously, when you're young, you've been growing up with like the same teammates every single season. It's the same, it's the same, it's the same. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of familiarity, a lot of comfort. You're not really going to feel out of place. Like, you know everybody. And yeah, pretty much I knew everybody from growing up from all the way up to from 5 to 11. And yeah, there wasn't a lot of discomfort. There wasn't really a lot of training sessions where I felt like, oh, I have to prove myself, blah blah blah. Because to be honest, as soon as I had established my place in like the starting team, it was I would go to training and I'd be like, ah, should I really go like that extra 5% harder in training because I'm gonna start anyway type of thing. So obviously that was the first example from a team where there was just a lot of comfort. I didn't really feel uncomfortable, and ultimately that didn't really obviously ultimately that made me sort of stagnate as a player, which meant I had to move teams in order to like improve my game. Because yeah, like I said, there wasn't that hunger anymore to like prove myself. I'd already proven myself, already won trophies for that team. Was it won trophies, won games for that team, had good performances for that team. So ultimately, but like I said, for training as a young player, I wasn't really as motivated. I wasn't really as motivated to prove anything to my teammates or my coaches. So I had to leave at age 11. And then the second team out of the four where I feel like there was a lot of comfort was the team I joined when I was 14. Now, this team when I joined when I was 14, yeah, it was basically the whole idea was meant to be it was a new team, yeah. So it was a new team, but I actually got put onto this new team by one of my former teammates' mums. She basically told me to come do a trial with this team, and yeah, just see how it goes. And then obviously I get there at the trial, yeah, and I kid you not, at the trial I literally know about 80% of these people. About 80% of the players I knew from this trial had literally I literally either played with, played against them, either in like team football matches, school matches, went to school with them, or just knew them through any sort of football basically. So 80% of these players at these trials, I know all of them. And to be fair, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, this trial was rigged from the start. Like what's it called? They sort of knew they literally what ended up happening was they literally picked those 80% of players who made the team. Like I remember, especially there was one goalkeeper. This goalkeeper, he was cold. Like bro, every single thing he was getting there. He was moving like Spider Man. I can't lie. He was a black goalie as well. This guy was cold, but he didn't get picked for the team ultimately because the goalkeeper who got picked was the coach's little brother basically. So obviously, as soon as I saw that happen, I was like, all right, cool. I know what this is now. I know what this is now. Because pretty much, like I said, the 80% of the people that I knew there got picked, and the other 20% that weren't really known by the manager beforehand, they didn't get picked. And also, I forgot to mention that the manager of that trial, basically, the manager of that team, he was a ref in our league. So obviously, he's seen. So if you played in that league that he was refing, he's pretty much seen everyone who played in that league. He knows our ability levels. He knows this and that about us. Like I even turned up to the trial and he called me over and he said my name. I was like, yo, how does this guy know my name? And then I think I looked back on my phone. I think a picture was taken while I was playing football, and obviously it was a picture of me like dribbling with the ball. And in the background, I see this guy as the referee, and I'm thinking, what the hell? I didn't even know. I didn't even realize that he was a ref basically. So obviously with this team, yeah, basically everyone knew each other, all of that, and pretty much you knew who was going through to the trial. Basically, it was one of them teams where the coaches they knew the parents and all of that. So obviously the team gets picked, and we start the season off. And to be honest, bro, I don't know what happened with this team, bro. Like I don't know if it was like people felt entitled to play without actually working hard because they knew the coaches, but it just didn't go well at all. We were losing games badly, and yeah, it was just not going well at all. And I feel like me personally as a player, I definitely this was from like 14 to 15. I definitely stagnated as a player. I look back and I'm like, damn, that was like a year and a half wasted. These were the two seasons in COVID as well. So I look back at those seasons, I'm like, damn, like these 2 seasons were definitely wasted. I didn't feel like I actually progressed as a player. That's the crazy thing. I, to be fair, I progressed after, like I said, after COVID, after I lost bare weight in COVID. That's when my game actually went up. But even with that team after COVID, I probably played about 5 games and then I left after that because I was like, yo, I need to find a new team because this team isn't going anywhere. So yeah, the reason I brought that up was basically just to say I feel like a lot of players in that team, because everyone knew each other, everyone was very comfortable with each other, everyone was very sort of like buddy buddy with each other, which means that trainings were less. I feel like trainings were just less intense, less competitive. There was less of a hunger, less of a drive to like really school go out there and show the manager why you should play, why you should play ahead of this player, and basically yeah, just that hunger to just dominate in trainings. I just felt like everything was just a bit, buddy buddy lethargic, which led to me personally. I don't feel like I really progressed as a player. And to be fair, I talked to former teammates of that team to this day as well, and they say, and we all say the same thing, that from the get go, that the reason we think that we didn't progress was that the trials was very much based on like, if the coach knows your parents or he knows your past, he's picking you. He didn't really go off like proper merit, proper talent type of thing. So yeah, but what's it called? For the two other teams. Now the two other teams, they were in completely different locations to where I lived. So one team was very far, very very far up where I live, probably like a 40-minute drive. And this was the team I played for, probably around from 12 years old to 14 years old. So this team, completely new area. I didn't know anybody in this team, and trust me, I learned a lot of hard lessons in this team, but trust me, it definitely improved me as a player. This was the first ever time where I had to like go to this was my first ever experience of like going to a trial for a new team. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously I told you before that from 5 years old to 11 years old, I was just with this one team my whole life. So literally from literally as a kid, go all the way going up to like 11 years old. So at 12 years old, I go to this new team, and it was the first time that I'd ever had to like go to a trial. Yeah, like I said, go to a trial, really have to fight for my place, basically. Just have to prove my quality as a player, show why I should be in the starting 11. And obviously during this period as well, it wasn't just like, oh, I go into the starting 11 and then that's it. I was in the starting 11 for the whole thing. Because even with this team, new players came, some players left, new players came, and I still had to, what's it called, constantly just prove myself. I remember I got benched. I spent 2 years there, so I got benched in my second. I got benched in my second season. I remember, and that was the first time I'd ever really got benched for like a run of like 4 or 5 games. And obviously that showed me that, yo, listen, you're not no one's no you're not untouchable. You're still what's it called, you can still be dropped type of thing. So that was the first time I really had to sort of like put the work in training and really show people like, yo, I deserve to be in the starting 11. Like, you shouldn't be dropping me. I feel like that was the first time in my career where the coaches didn't have faith in me type of thing. And obviously that led me to, what's it called, just putting in the work, just trying to just trying to prove to them that, yo, I should be in the starting 11. Like, what's going on? And obviously from there, won my place back in the team. I think, yeah, won my place back in the team. I think we went on a run of like winning like um, 4 out of the last 5 games of the season. I remember even in the semi-final, we did lose 4-2, but I scored and I assisted the goals. So yeah, that was sort of like the first time I had to really like fight for my place in the team, where a coach didn't believe in me. And obviously that taught me lessons, like resiliency, hard work, determination, all of, just being mentally stronger, just just that experience of mentally knowing that, okay, today I'm only getting 20 minutes, but in this 20 minutes I have to ball, I have to perform. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, just going to a whole different team, getting out of my comfort zone, that really improved me as a player in terms of the mental aspect as well. And then the other team, what's it called? Yeah, the fourth and last team was basically from 16 to 18 as well. This was another time where I actually went to this team. I didn't know. Initially, I didn't know anybody. Like I didn't know anybody. Like I said, a completely new area again. And this team, and what's it called? This team, once again, I had to sort of, nobody knew me. This team had been together for a long time as well. So you know how hard it is as a player. If you've ever experienced going to a new team where they've been together for a long time, to even get into that starting 11, it's going to be tough because obviously the coaches have biases. You know, they trust certain players. Obviously, they're going to trust them way more than they can trust a new player and all of that. But obviously, during preseason, I just had to sort of just show these guys like, yo, I should be in the team. I should be in the starting 11. And obviously, I don't think I started any games in preseason. I don't think I started any games in preseason at all. To be fair, I think we played like 5 games. I didn't start any of them. Came off the bench the whole time. Then on the first game of the season, he put me in the starting 11. I think we won like, what was it? We won like 4-1 or something. And from then on, literally, from then on, I literally just started every game. I literally just showed them like, yo, I literally one of the first names on the team sheet. And then from there, obviously, again with that team as well, I got out of my comfort zone in terms of, you know, training for the first team, just seeing levels basically. Because even training with that first team, I thought I was a good player, but then I realized like, yo, like this is levels, bro. Because I think even that first team now is like what, National League National League South or something now, and you could tell even like 2 years ago, like these guys were ballers, bro. Like it was crazy. That was one of them days where I was like, all right, cool. I'm a decent player, but I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? Just getting out of your comfort zone, just knowing that, all right, cool, I'm not there yet. Because obviously in the little like possession games, I was all right. You know, I looked like I belonged basically in the little possession games. But as soon as the coach expanded the pitch, it's class, bro. As soon as he expanded the pitch, I couldn't get near to these guys, bro. I remember just getting really annoyed and just trying to dive in on one guy, and he just slipped it through my legs, just a little nutmeg like that, and everyone just started screaming, and I was thinking, damn, like I really just got meg like that. Like I'd never got meg like that before. Like it was crazy. But yeah, like I said, the two teams where I feel like there was a lot of comfort, a lot of familiarity. Those were the two teams where I felt like I didn't really grow as a player. You know what I'm saying? I stagnated, especially in the second team from like what 14 to 16. That it was, to be fair, it was the two COVID years, but even still, like I feel like I should have. That was my time to like really progress as a player, but it just didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the other two teams where I didn't really know anyone, it was a new area, new coaches, new faces. I feel like that's when my game really went to the next level, simply because I had to what's it called? Simply because I learned different lessons. I had to fight my way to get into the team. Obviously, fight my way to keep my place as well. Like I said, training with the first team, training with the under 23s. Obviously, dealing with like the different demands of different coaches as well. It's like, yeah. So obviously, I feel like obviously what's it called? Today I'm gonna tell you 2 points, two main points as to why I feel like you shouldn't be afraid of discomfort. Basically, make yourself uncomfortable because you're gonna grow as a player. You're gonna learn all your lessons as a player. Even me, all these video ideas that I make, all these lessons that I teach you guys, all these lessons that I learn are mainly from the two teams where what's it called? I had to get out of my comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get out of your comfort zone, that's where the knowledge comes. That's where you learn. That's where you learn the lesson. So yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of getting out of your comfort zone, and because it's only going to make you a better player. So the first thing I'll say about getting out of your comfort zone is literally when you join a team, yeah, make sure you don't join a team with like a bunch of your friends. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of your school friends or a bunch of your friends that you know from somewhere. Because trust me, I don't know if it may work for you, but in my experience, anytime I try to like get my friends to play on the same team as me, or I play on the same team with a bunch of people I know, for some reason it just never went well. I don't know why, it just never goes well. I feel like it's because, you know what I'm saying, you're not as focused in the training sessions. You know, maybe when the coach is talking, you're looking at each other, joking around, smiling. Or in the training sessions, let's say in the training session, let's say you don't know anyone in the training sessions and it's a 50-50 and the ball's there. Or if you don't really know the guy that well, if he's just quote unquote your teammate, you're smashing into him, like you're getting that 50-50. But when it's your boy, sometimes, I don't know, for me, but when it's my boy, I'm like, let me you just go in with less force, less ferociousness. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, oh, what if I injure my boy? I don't want to injure my boy. Let me just let me just pull out of the tackle sometimes. It does get like that sometimes. At least that feels like, that's what it feels like for me anyway. But yeah, for some reason, just having friends on my team, it just never worked. It just never worked out. Like, I remember when I joined the team at 12 years old, I brought one of my boys with me, and obviously he was a winger as well. So we went into the trials thinking, yeah, we're gonna. And after the trials, we both balled out as well, and we made the team. So we're thinking, yeah, obviously me and Senna made him on the wing. I'm gonna be pinging him balls. It's gonna be, the link up was gonna be beautiful. But obviously, for some reason, I was starting games, but he wasn't starting games. He kept coming off the bench. Like, the coach would violate. The coach would literally bring him on for 10 minutes, then take him off again and again. Like, the coach would literally bring him on in like the 70th minute and then take him off at the 80th minute. And it was like, even everyone was looking around like, damn, he's violent. So my boy, literally after like 3 months, he left. And then obviously I told you about the team where basically I knew 80% of the people there, and we were just losing games. I feel like the training sessions weren't really intense like that. We were losing, and yeah, like I said, we were losing games, and nobody really made progress as a player. And then there was another time, even for the team that I joined at 16 to 18, I didn't know anyone personally there. However, there was a group of guys who they all knew each other. It was probably like, what, 5, 6, or 7 guys who all knew each other. They all made the team. But obviously, they all made the team, and everything. It looked like everything was going good, everything was going well. But obviously, one by one, they all just start leaving for some reason. You know what I'm saying? They probably all came having this idea of like, yeah, we're all gonna play. All 6 of us, we're gonna be in the all 6 or 7 of us, we're gonna be in the starting 11. We're gonna start balling out. And trust me, by the end of the season, by the end of the first season, I don't think any of them man were there. All of them man were just scattered around different teams. I think 2 guys even stopped playing football completely. Like, it was mad in it. So from my experience, having teammates that you knew like previously, obviously you can be former teammates. Former teammates is calm, but like, I'm saying, like, if you're proper like friends with them, friends from school, or just friends from wherever, like, you know this person outside of football. For me, when you bring people that you know from outside of football to come play on your team, it just never works out. It never works out how you thought it was going to work out. Even if it's just like you and 2 of your boys, there's for some reason there's always going to be one of your boys who isn't happy with his game time, or then the other boy gets kicked out for doing some madness. It always just goes left, to be honest. So I don't know. I feel like the main reason as well is literally just the intensity. I feel like when you don't really know people too well and they're just sort of your teammates, you can sort of like bring that intensity. You can go in, like I said, 50-50. You're not trying to break his leg, but you're going in hard. You're going, and just sort of have that nonchalant attitude, like you don't really care. Like, you don't really care what happens in training. You just want to play football and perform, because you don't know any of these guys outside of football. They're just your teammates, type thing. So I feel like it sort of makes you go harder. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the first point. And for me, it might be different for you, but that's just my opinion. I personally, I personally wouldn't it's called bring your friends, bring your boys that you know outside of football to come play for your team. Because in my experience, it just never works out. It just never works out. It's better to get to know your team, get to know your teammates on your team, and then build the chemistry on the pitch from there. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of you will probably be thinking, oh, but have chemistry with this guy, have chemistry with this guy. I just feel like football chemistry doesn't matter about if you're friends or not. If you just have that that um that telepathic connection on the pitch, that you don't even have to be friends with the guy. Footballers that we even most footballers that are considered like dynamic duos or front threes, even like, let's say, Ronaldo, Bale, and Benzema, um, front three for Real Madrid. Even Ronaldo said it himself. They weren't really friends off the pitch. They didn't really chill together, but on the pitch, when it was game time in Champions League time, they all 3 of them knew what time it was. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just feel like that's the first point. I just feel like if for me, it just never works when you bring your friends on your team. You should always just go to the team by yourself. Just meet people there. Obviously, you can make friends there, but yeah, literally just meet people there that you haven't known previously, and just build chemistry from there. And then the second point about getting out of your comfort zone is that, in my opinion, as a young player, like I said, probably from the ages of like 7 to all the way to like 18, I personally think young players should periodically move teams. Like, maybe every 1, 2, or 3 years at least. Literally stay at a team for 3 years at the maximum. And the reason I say this is because from my experience as well, literally I remember, so I told you guys already that I was at a team from like 5 to 11. And I think in my second last season, I was balling out basically. I was really playing well. And I think I won Parents Player and Players Player of the Year. So after that great season, I'm coming into the next season. And to be honest, the motivation and the fire just wasn't there. It wasn't the same in training. Obviously, I'd gotten fat over the summer as well. So the summer I got lazy. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm this baller, I'm this, I'm that. And over the summer I got lazy. I got bare fat. I got complacent. Was good because I think it was because I feel like I just didn't have anything to prove at that team anymore. Like everyone knew I was good. My manager knew I was good. I knew that even if I didn't have a good training session that week, I was still starting the game on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, when you got things like that happening, it's like, where's the fire? Where's the motivation to like sort of prove something? Like I remember even coming back from my first training session. Like I said, I'd gone fat over the summer. Got back to my first training session, literally changing. I put on my shirt, yeah. And bro, this shirt is feeling tight, bro. I'm looking down at my stomach and I'm like, oh my days, this shirt, bro, this is. I was even like, yo, is this the same shirt? I thought I must have been wearing like my little cousin's shirt or something. Like, I was thinking, nah, this can't be the same shirt from last season that I was wearing. Literally, I'd gotten complacent, gotten fat, and it was showing on the pitch. I was lucky, like I said, I was lacking motivation. I could barely move the same anymore. And yeah, I'm pretty sure we literally finished like second from bottom. And to this day, I still blame myself for us having such a dead season, bro. We probably won like 4 games and lost the rest of them. And still, I take responsibility for that year because that was horrible. So obviously after that horrible last year at my team, I moved teams. I moved teams for another for my second ever team. And then I spent 2 years there. And straight away, like I said, it was the first time I'd ever been in a situation where I had to go for a trial. So now the fire was back. Now the motivation was back to really prove something to the coaches. So obviously, like I said, I proved myself. Got into the starting 11. Obviously, there were up and down periods where, like I said, I got benched for that team. Had to come back, regain my place. But after 2 years there, in my first season, I won. I'm pretty sure I won Parents Player of the Year. And then in my second season, that same season where what's it called? That same season where I got benched for like 5 games, came back, balled out, and then I ended up winning Parents Player and Players Player of the Year. So you know what I'm saying? And literally because I had that fire again, I had that motivation to feel like I proved something. Because even after the first year of that team, I still said to myself, yo, there's still more to go. You know what I'm saying? Because especially with that team as well, there were new players coming in constantly, so you constantly had to just prove yourself against new players. So yeah, so yeah, literally, that's the part of getting out of your comfort zone. And even after I won the Parents Player and Players Player, after playing for that team, I moved teams again because I didn't want the same thing to happen again from that other team. I didn't want to get comfortable, get complacent, and have a bad season. So as soon as I won that Parents Player and Players Player at 14, I decided to move teams again because I said, nah, there's no way I'm getting complacent. There's no way I'm getting complacent. So as you can see, anytime I was in my comfort zone, out of my comfort zone, sorry, it forced me to grow as a player. It forced me to get better, develop on certain things. But anytime I was comfortable, anytime I felt, yeah, I'm that guy, I'm this, I'm that, got lazy, got fat, yeah, and just wasn't motivated, didn't perform. The team was doing bad as a result as well. So like I said, this is why I just wanted to make this vid about getting out of your comfort zone. Even if you've been at a team for 6 years, what's it called? Move teams, move to a new system, new position, and just see what works for you. Because ultimately, even if you end up not liking it as much, it's still gonna help you as a player because it's gonna force you to adapt your game. It's gonna force you to do different things, get better at different things, and overall, that'll make you a better overall complete package as a player. Which obviously, of course, you want to be if you're trying to get into an academy, get into first teams, and all of that. So that's all I have to say for this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.